Two fastest ways to lose a soccer camp are boredom and exhaustion. Today I'm showing you two types of youth soccer camp drills. Fun, unusual games that kids love and are easy to explain and evolve, and low-intensity competitions that still develop skills on long, hot days. Capture the flag. Everybody knows the rules of capture the flag, so it will take you very little time to explain the concept. I like to have three teams with towers, which are square areas made from cones, where they keep the flags, or in this case, the balls. They start with 3 balls each team, and they need to get to 6. They're not allowed to enter their own squares to protect the balls, but are allowed to go to other squares of the opponents, steal the ball, and dribble it back to their own square. In the areas in between, you can stop each other and get the ball from the opponent, then bring it to your square. In the first group of drills, I will show you how each drill can be elevated to the next day by something similar, but a little bit different. For example, the first day only dribbles are allowed, but the second day of the camp you allow passes for the capture the flag. This changes the dynamics of the drill significantly. Now players start to work together, by some players staying at the base to receive the pass and defend, while others are attacking the other tower to steal the balls. Now let's talk about a different drill, a soccer dodgeball. Again, players know the basic rules. Split the field in 2 sides where each team can only stay on their own half. You get a point when you kick the ball and hit somebody on the other side, while the opponent wants to catch the ball live to get a point, or let the ball roll to stop or just out of bounds and get the ball to try attacking from their side. What does that mean for soccer? In the more advanced category, I'd like to be able for them to juggle. After you receive it, being able to hit it at least one more time before it hits the ground. In the younger category, just receiving with their foot is fine. The second variation of the dodgeball is a dodgeball circle. This is actually one of my favorite games to introduce on the second day. Make a central area with 4 pairs, 3 of them trying to pass to each other across the circle and hit the 2 players in the middle of the circle. The strikes can be strong, but they have to be accurate enough, because if the receiver cannot handle the ball, you lose a point. If the player in the center must be aware that potentially 3 balls are coming at the same time. So while maybe they're not practicing their technique as much, they practice their awareness and movement a lot. Soccer tennis. Another one drawing inspiration from another sport. As easy as it gets to explain, we have soccer tennis. We allow the ball to bounce once in our field, and then we need to cross it to the other side in the opponent's field area. We can play this game without a net and also as a team, kind of like doubles in tennis, with the only difference that we allow to pass to each other only while juggling. And then we have soccer volleyball. Similar to soccer tennis, it's easy to explain, but it requires a bit more skill. This time we put a net in between, and we don't allow the ball to bounce at all. You can again play solo, or do it in pairs, or even more players. In fact, you can easily have uneven teams with no real side effect. A 3v2 can be a fair game as long as you just adjust the fields a little bit on each side. Dribble Knockout Arena. As one of the intro games, I like to designate an area, like the penalty box, and keep everybody in it with a ball for each player. They need to dribble their ball, but also kick the opponent's ball out of the area. If they lose the ball, they run after the ball to bring it back and continue the game. If they play too conservatively, then you as a coach can get into to kick some of the balls out. Also, give a point or 2 for kicking a ball out. Deduct a point for getting their ball kicked out of play. Dribble Knockout Arena. Last man standing. This is a second day activity, much more increased pressure than the previous one. Once the ball goes out of play, go and steal a ball from somebody else. And the winner is the last player with the ball in possession. The pressure increases with each ball out of play because the number of players without the ball increases. It's a great warming up exercise that you can have every day and still be fun. The soccer camps are often much longer than regular practices. They last 3 to 6 hours and are often during the summer when you might run into some very hot days. With that in mind, you need activities that maybe will not be physically intensive, but they will be fun and engaging for the players. Some soccer camps look like daycare during no school times, and the parents are often expecting that. However, the main focus must be to make sure that what we are doing is something soccer related, so no other unrelated activities are allowed by design. I find inspiration from the All-Stars games with the skill challenge section, as well as from other sports. So number 1 is curling or shuffleboard. Make nested squares from cones with 1, 5, and 10 points. Then each player gets 3 balls and they need to knock the opponent ball out of play and keep the balls inside the squares. Make sure you keep the number of players small so there's not much waiting time, as this is really a slow pace activity. Maybe make it a 1v1 as a knockout tournament, or even better, a round robin tournament. Number 2, stack goals. Put the small goals one behind the other so that they're in a line with each other and they block the direct shot to the goals behind. Then give maybe double the number of chances to score each goal. For example, 8 balls for 4 goals. The players will need to try to curve or lob the shots in behind. This is a great for them to try different types of shots and think about them and practice them later on. Across the river, create 2 end zones with 1 player on each side and a dead zone in between. For the very beginners, they just need to do regular passes to each other without the ball getting stuck in between the river. For more advanced, challenge them to cross the ball so that the ball doesn't even drop in the river. It's a great exercise for them to practice crosses, especially for the first time unopposed. Finally, for the very top players, challenge them for the ball not to drop at all. So the receiver needs to receive it, juggle it, and then send it back to their teammate without the ball touching the ground. Have field penalties. This is actually practicing the accuracy of a long passing, but since it's a penalty, the kids like it much more. Put them at the half-point line, and then that's their penalty spot. Then they take shots without a goal. This is great because they can really see the trajectory of the ball depending on how they hit it, and how even a straight pass is often not completely straight. So it will really make them think next time they are passing in a game. Weak foot penalties. I like practicing regular penalties, especially before a tournament, but a fun challenge for the summer is to take penalties with their weaker foot. The players get to practice their weaker foot in a safe environment without pressure. But what I've seen is that oftentimes, before and after taking the penalty, they practice their weaker foot against the wall or passing to each other or even just dribbling. It's more like a warm-up for the penalty or just rediscovering what it feels to use that foot. Finally, the crossbar challenge. This is mostly for more advanced players, but if you have a solid group of players, give them the challenge to hit the crossbar when shooting from anywhere on the penalty box line, from the 18-yard box, and sort of like a free kick. The good thing about this challenge is not how many crossbar they're gonna hit during the camp, but that they can really find it fun to try it on their own outside of practice. They don't need a goalie, they don't need an opponent, they don't even need a teammate. These were my go-to activities for a youth soccer camp. They're fun, they're quick to set up, and they can work both for an hour-long practice days and for 5 hours long days. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.